On Sunday night, like many of you, I tuned in to watch Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sit down with Oprah, and I must say I was genuinely shocked. I was expecting Harry and Meghan to complain about the British press, but I wasn't expecting their complaints about the royal family. And before we can talk about anything else, let's talk about the most serious thing that came out during the interview, and that is the racism that Meghan and Harry experienced regarding baby Archie's color. Now, I should share that I am Indian, born and raised in Mumbai. Discussion of skin color is something that's very prevalent in our culture, something the newer generations are trying to change. I have a complex relationship with the monarchy, considering the realities of British rule over India for many centuries. My experience of racism has been real, but none of that matters because, of course, that does not compare to a Black person's experience of racism, and we have to all work together to call it out and to end racism. If Meghan and Harry did experience racism, then it should absolutely be investigated, and the people of England have a right to know if a future monarch is racist. I think Meghan and Harry should absolutely speak up about their experiences, but I have a problem with the way they have done it. During the interview, they alluded to racist conversations. They alluded to who may have made these comments, but they never gave any details, except to say that it wasn't the Queen or Prince Philip. My problem with this approach is that it doesn't solve anything, because now the whole world is caught up in a whodunit, and everyone is a suspect, and people don't know who to condemn. The lack of details or specifics means that there is no room for a rebuttal. No one can come out in their own defense after being accused, and the label of racist is basically being applied to the whole family. Also, we have no option but to believe Meghan and Harry, since there is no way to actually check the facts. I'm sorry, but this just feels incredibly manipulative to have everyone cast doubts on a family without a single piece of proof or detail. Does it solve anything? Does it help us reduce instances of racism? Or does it just fire up more hate? I want to turn it over to you guys and ask you, what do you think? Do you think they went about it the right way, or could they have tackled it differently? And I'll leave it there for now and move on to discussing the rest of the interview. I thought a lot about what Meghan was trying to achieve through this sit-down with Oprah. In my past videos, I've analyzed her and made a case for why I think she has narcissistic personality disorder. Check out those videos if you haven't had a chance yet. But here, I want to talk about what does Meghan want. I think she wants to be widely liked, known, respected, overall just revered. She asked her teams in the past to make her the most famous person in the world. I don't think she wants to just live this private life like she claims. She wants to be the next Princess Diana, which is exactly how Meghan and Harry tried to paint her during the Oprah interview, as a naive young woman, sensitive and deeply feeling, caught in the clutches of a powerful family intent upon suffocating her and demonizing her. Let's start with the first part of that. The very thing that Meghan starts the interview with, claiming that she was naive, that she had never looked into the royal family, that she had no idea what she was getting into. This is the first of the many parallels drawn to Diana, since Diana really was a young, naive girl who had no idea what royal life would entail and had met Prince Charles about 15 times beforehand. Honestly, Meghan was not as underprepared as she says. As many of her friends have confirmed, Meghan was obsessed with the royal family, and Lady Colin Campbell was informed by a source that Meghan devoured both of Lady C's books on Princess Diana. Meghan loved Diana, and in my previous videos, I've showcased all the ways that she has mimicked Harry's mother, including wearing her perfume to their first date. So right off the bat, Meghan is starting with a lie that she was ill-prepared, since we haven't even talked about the fact that Harry and Meghan dated for a while before getting married, at which point she lived with him and would have had solid access to information about what was in store. So why lie? If Meghan really wants us to like her, the way she's trying to get us there is for us to feel sorry for her, to see that she is the victim in the situation, in the same way that we feel Princess Diana was the victim in her situation. If we pity her, then we won't attack her. We won't catch her out for her manipulations, her lies, her mistreatment of her staff, or of her family, or even of Harry or his family. It will also push her fans to come to her defense. Since they love her, they want to protect her, and they will come full force against anyone that even speaks slightly ill of her. So it's sort of genius, because who can argue with her claims that she was so miserable that she wanted to end her life? One of the realities about Meghan Markle is that she cannot handle criticism of any kind. One of the more telling moments of the interview was just how often Meghan brought up the fact that the palace was not protecting her like they had promised. She doesn't go into specifics, but we can infer what she means by it, which is that the palace was not denying or counteracting the negative press that Meghan started to get a few months after the wedding. She talks about how when the story of her making Kate cry came out, it was a turning point, and she's right. Before then, she had mostly enjoyed positive press, but that started to change when this story, plus others about her being difficult with staff, demanding a tiara, asking for centuries-old chapel to be air-freshened. Add that to her family's claim that Meghan ghosted them meant that the people in the press started to wonder if Meghan wasn't really the person she was claiming to be. And Meghan's claim that the palace did not defend her is false, since on several occasions the palace did work to counter negativity, something they didn't do when Kate suffered her period of negative press. And that's because the palace only responds if they absolutely have to. Usually, they stay silent and out of the fray. And speaking of the Duchess of Cambridge, Catherine got her fair share of very negative press, as did Diana, as did Sarah Ferguson, as did Princess Anne, as did Prince Charles. It happens to every royal. And I would argue that Catherine has been the most successful at dealing with it since she's kept her head down, kept working, never given the press a single story. Instead, she and Prince William have kept going and focused on their work. The result? The negative press died down and Kate earned her stripes, and since has enjoyed the love of her people and the reporters. But Meghan and Harry can't do that because Meghan primarily believes that she stands alone, that no one has ever or will ever experience the pain and negativity and criticism that she has. She doesn't see that this is par for the course and that she needs to write it out. No, she feels that it's unfair and it needs to be stopped right now. And there it is, her intense desire for control. That's why the support the palace did give her wasn't enough. When she left the family, we've seen how her PR team has worked to clean up her image, repaint her in a positive light, with fawning pieces about her personality, about her endurance, her beauty, her style, and her inner strength coming out almost daily. And Finding Freedom, a book that we now know for sure she contributed to, though let's be honest, we all suspected it, had the following to say about her. The rising sun washed over her makeshift yoga garden, while an exotic flock of birds that looked as if they had just had their tails dipped in pots of colorful paints serenaded her. Oh boy, okay, but it's not working for her. Instead, Meghan's getting more and more critics every day, and that's because she's trying so hard to cultivate a perfect image, and people can see through it. Something feels weird when we see someone trying so hard to be this perfect person and use words like authentic when we can see it doesn't add up. Because a good person would have a good relationship with their family, would have a good relationship with friends, with their staff, with their in-laws. But this argument that everyone is against her, everyone hates her, and wants her to fail. What? Why? Your family wants you to fail? Your childhood friends want you to fail? Your staff that all quit because you were bullying them are making up lies? I mean, how much smoke do we need to see before we call it a fire? If Meghan and Harry want to live a private life and have their privacy, go for it. Who in their right minds would want to stop them? But what I have a problem with is their desire to sell us this story that Meghan is perfect, that she does no wrong, but everyone else sucks. Her father, her half-sister, Prince William, Catherine, the Queen, Prince Charles, the press, her staff, everyone is to be blamed. There's no sense of personal responsibility. At no point could Meghan recognize that she did anything wrong except for being naive. It's all on everyone else. And you know what? To that I say, bullshit.